Little Nightmares 2, A Delightful Dream. The original Little Nightmares was a fun little game that I fully streamed back when it was released in 2017. I always thought it was going to go the way of Limbo, a game with a vague ending that can be interpreted and shall not be followed up by a sequel or of any kind. Time skip a few years later, and there wasn't much. There was a couple of comic books, and at some point, a mobile game. I remember I downloaded that one, but I didn't really finish it because I did not like that gameplay. Not a big fan of that. It was a surprise for me when I learned that a sequel was coming. I was ecstatic and I could not wait to get my hands on it. I immediately pre-ordered the special edition that came with this cute little diorama, which I do not regret purchasing at all. It's really cute. I then promptly ignored all the promotional material that came after that announcement and the fact that I purchased it, so I knew it had something to do with TVs. So what did I think about this game? I very much loved it. It was everything I wanted from the franchise, and it even made me go back to the mobile game to beat it. What did they change about the sequel compared to the original? The answer... not much, actually. You are not playing as Six anymore, you're now playing as Mono, this little paper bag wearing boy over here. Who is he? We don't really know, but you're gonna eventually get to the point in the game where you can start interpreting who he is, and the game kinda tells you, but it's all really up in the air. Eventually, you spring Six from her imprisonment, and she accompanies you throughout the game. They added the ability to actually engage in some rudimentary combat, sort of, in order to fight against some of the enemies. You're not an unstoppable player, so you're not Devil May Crying all over the place, but it gives the illusion of being able to deal with some of these enemies in the game. It's awkward, and I appreciate how awkward it is. It helps with the immersion and role-playing of just barely getting through some of these situations, and also highlighting just how weak you are compared to some of the creatures out there. Other than that, the basic puzzle platforming has returned with simple little puzzles with some more interesting encounters. I won't be showing anything past the first one here, but my favorite encounter happens within the hospital and it creeped me out in all the good ways. They also added these little hats you can find around everywhere, so you can change the way Mono looks. I usually went with the raincoat hat because, it's Little Nightmares, they're known for the raincoat. So you will mostly be running away from big creatures in this game. So almost all of the set pieces are chase scenes with a couple of change-ups around each corner. Whenever you're not running away, it is a very intense scene with a lot of emotions running high. Most adrenaline, but sometimes it's mostly relief. The world is vastly more open compared to the first game's setting. While the first game was a ship island thing in the middle of the ocean, with the indoor sections only, this game has range. You start from the forest and make your way into a city with multiple different buildings within that city. Across all these environments, you start noticing TVs everywhere, some of them broken, some of them just turned on and you interact with them. They all seem to be broadcasting some kind of mind control message, or that somewhat affects Mono in a special way, but clearly affects all the other residents a lot. And eventually you gain some abilities with TVs, and it vastly helps with giving the player newer ways to interact with the world. It all accumulates into making your way to the broadcast station, where many mysteries are both answered and presented anew. I won't be discussing the story here since I kind of want you guys to experience it and interpret it yourselves, but I will say it's very much an unwritten book, much like the first. You can make all sorts of connections using the environment if you would like, and that is very much part of the appeal of this game. Seeing how all of the boss enemies are connected from all the games can be part of the fun. Overall, I like this game and recommend it to all those who want a somewhat different experience, with more questions than answers. It is very much a full price experience even with its somewhat short length. That length alone is the sole negative of this game, but the first was not that long either, so I don't really see it as an issue. I believe I beat the story mode in around 4 to 6 hours. This was mostly me looking around a lot. I'm pretty sure it's actually a 3 to 4 hour experience, but I just really liked the environment because it's just a beautiful world. And while I was too lazy to go back and 100% it for the secret ending kind of tells you that this sequel is more like a prequel to the first game, but potentially a sequel to the mobile game. And I also heard that Bandai Namco essentially owns the rights to the series, so another sequel is not out of the question, even though the team that made this series has expressed it wants to make other IPs instead of continuing Little Nightmares. Maybe the new creators can bring new experiences to this world. Maybe even give it a proper story mode with dialogue and everything. It would be a very interesting game in my opinion. If you're a little hesitant to purchase this game for full price, the original game is normally on sale for $5, so give that one a shot and see if the sequel interests you in any way. Thanks for watching, leave a like and maybe even subscribe for more future reviews, or for whatever I decide to play next. Recommend me a game and I will check it out. I stream every game I play, so catch me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Varestian. At the time of writing this, I am playing through Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I will very much be reviewing that game. If I'm not playing Ori or whatever game, I'm usually playing League, so if you're also a fan of League, well, you can go watch that. See ya!